Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Check it out. Pooh Shiesty, we're going to tap deep within his mind because I think he's finally realizing that it don't matter what Gucci Mane says because the camera kept rolling. They released the videotape. Y'all seen it. We're going to play a little bit again. Bear with me. Stick with it. But we're going to dap into the psychological effect of how Pooh Shiesty is dealing with living in the cell, being that, as y'all know or should know, if you don't know, I'm Unique Mecca Audio. I spent 26 years in federal prison, was locked in a cell and had to deal with these same demons haunting me, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. So sit back and enjoy the ride. Hit that like button, emoji, hit the hype. Let's keep it moving, keep it moving. All right, welcome to my abode. Let's relax. Now, check it out, Ron. The cameras became the informant. But listen, this one right here ain't about rap. This ain't about who got the most money. This ain't about who was more street. This is about the moment a man realizes the person he thought would never stand on the other side is now part of the case that got him sitting in a cell. Pooh Shiesty's sitting there right now, right? His father's home, big 30s home, people moving around, the world still spinning. But he's still in there. And now they say, the video came out. Now they say the camera spoke. Now they say the thing his lawyer said they didn't have. It's the same thing the feds say, we got it, ka-ching. Let's get the bell going. All right, now, that's the different kind of pressure. Because when you're in a cell, you don't just hear the locks on the door when it's closing. You hear your thoughts rumbling through your mind. You hear the judge, you hear the prosecutor, you hear your mother, you hear your children, if you got them. You hear every decision you made playing back a movie you can't cut off within your mind, right? But I gotta give you the jewel on that. The streets got cameras now. The phone got memory now. The courtroom got the translators now. Come to the classroom and put your verdict in the comment because the camera don't care who you thought you were solid to. Put it in the comment now, right? We're gonna talk about the first 45 seconds of federal pressure. Right. But before we do that, let me let y'all know what this is about. I like to go backwards.
January of 2026, prosecutors say Gucci Mane initially refused to sign the release. They say Pooh Shiesty then, quote, produced an AK-style pistol described by victims as a choppa, pointed it at RD's head, and repeated his demand that RD sign the release of the contract. Court documents include a still image from a video prosecutors say shows Pooh Shiesty's father holding the release paperwork. They also say Gucci Mane was forced to say on video Pooh Shiesty dropped from 1017, known as 1017 Records. According to the filing, rapper Big 30 recorded the video while co-defendant DeMarcus Glover, pictured here, blocked the door while holding a firearm. Prosecutors say the group also stole about $450,000 in cash and jewelry. The video is a major development in the case.
All right, that's enough of that, right? That's enough of that. That's enough of that, right? Let's go. That's enough of that. Let's put this on mute. Let's run this back. You know what I mean? We're gonna put Pooh Shiesty up there, right? Because we had to run this back. Now, right, the first 45 seconds of federal pressure, that's where we left off at, right? Imagine this. You was out, you had a name, you had motion, you had music, you had people looking at you like you beat the odds. You just came off a bid of shooting a dude in the rectum. Then boom, you're back in the cell. Now, not for something small, for federal kidnapping, extortion, robbery allegations, possible life if convicted. And you now know what makes it worse? You ain't hearing street talk no more. You're hearing court talk, video, cooperating witness, cell phone data, surveillance, group chats, contacts, victims, guns. That's not Instagram language, that's federal language. And when the feds start talking like that, they're not trying to win an argument. They're trying to build a box around you, a concrete box. The street argument is who's real. The courtroom argument is, what can we prove? Now, the hood professor, right? The class is in session. Let's go. And the first lesson is this, right? Proof beats reputation every time. When your father is home and you're still locked up. Now, let's get even deeper than that. Because people only look at the headline, but I want you to think about the cell that Pooh's sitting in. His father's home, Big 30's home, people still calling home. People still eating real food. People still walking outside. People still smelling air that don't come through a vent. But he's still in there. That's when the mind starts doing mathematics with you. Your mind becomes mathematical. How am I sitting here? Why they let me go? Why they let them go and didn't let me go? Why am I faced with this? Why my name the one they put first? Why everybody else can breathe and I'm still waiting on the door to open? That's not jealousy. That's human pressure. That's when the cells start feeling smaller, the bunk feel harder, the light feel brighter, the nights feel longer, and every sound in the unit starts sounding like your future is being closed away. When you invite trouble to the table, you don't get to pick who choose to go home first. Report to class. Right. Everybody report to class, get your notepads out. Let's get this going. Because sometimes the loudest name gets left holding the heaviest bag. And that's what you're witnessing right now. Now let's go into the dark psychological cell of what Pooh Shiesty's dealing with. The dark psychological cell. This is the part people don't talk about. The dark psychological cell, that's the cell inside the cell that you create within your mind. The one you can't file a motion to leave. The one you can't pay a lawyer to open. The one that starts when the tear gets quiet. Daytime, you can act strong. Daytime, you can talk to people. Daytime, you can say, I'm good. I'm fighting it. I'm gonna make it. They ain't got nothing on me. But nighttime, don't care about your image. Nighttime asks different questions. What if they do got the videotapes? What if the video is clear? What if the jury see it different? What if Gucci testifies? What if the phone put me there? What if Big 30 recording the video became the same thing that hurt me, that I thought would help? What if the people I thought was with me become the reason the government says I did it? That's when the walls move. Not physically, but I'm talking about mentally. They come inch by inch until the room feels like it's breathing right on top of you. I experienced that doing 26 years in federal prison. That's why I'm here to give you these jewels. Prison don't just lock your body, it locks your thoughts in the room with you. Drop a jewel in the classroom? What's worse, the case outside or the mind war with inside? Gucci Mane, street name or business name, right? Now let's talk about Gucci, because this is where a lot of people get confused. They looking at Gucci like, man, he's street too. He's supposed to stand on man time. He's supposed to handle it a certain way. But see, that's the trap. The streets want everybody to say and stay street. Even when the situation becomes federal, Gucci ain't just a rapper in this story. He a business owner. He a label owner. He a man with a brand. He a man with a family. He a man with assets. He a man who been through enough to know what federal trouble look like. And when somebody puts you in a position where you become the alleged victim, the street code don't protect your business. Lawyers do. The paperwork do. The process do. That's what Pooh may be thinking about. I never thought Gucci would be on that side. But Gucci may be thinking, I never thought you would put me in this position. Now, you tell me if that didn't resonate with you right now, right? Now, I'm gonna give you the jewel in that. Don't expect street loyalty after you create courtroom drama, is what Gucci would say to Pooh Shiesty. Now, coming from the hood, Professor Rock, let me tell you this. The moment business turns into force, everybody starts protecting themselves. Gucci standing on business. Now hear me clear. I ain't saying Gucci told. Y'all seen the video, so y'all know if Gucci told or not. I ain't saying what he did or he didn't do. I'm saying this. The courtroom don't run on hood expectations. The courtroom runs on roles, difference. Defendants, victims, witnesses, prosecutors, judges, jury. Once those roles get assigned, the street story is over. Now it's the legal story. And that's what Pooh may be sitting there fighting in his own mind. He may be thinking, Gucci know what this life is. Gucci know what pressure is. Gucci know what street situations look like. But Gucci may be saying, I also know what business is. I also know what loss is, and I'm not planning on taking it with you. I also know what setup feels like. You tried to set me up to be in a situation and wind up going back to jail. Ooh. I also know I'm not about to let your case become my ruin. Me and Keisha worked too hard for that. And I can hear Keisha, no, we ain't stupid, no blood clean. You better sit on your boobs. You know, and that's how Keisha gonna go off on them. Now, that's the shift, right? Man time in the street, all right? Because business time is court time. Now, let me hit the jewel. Don't confuse somebody's past with permission to damage their present. Put your verdict in and let me know. Is that betrayal or is that the man protecting his life by Gucci going to the police? The camera did what people feared. The craziest part is this. Everybody always asks, who told, who cooperated, who the rat, who switched? But in this era, the first informant might not be a person. It might be the camera. It might be the phone. It might be the location data. It might be the group chat. It might be the social media posts. It might be the ankle monitor. It might be the video your own people recorded. That's the unique Mecca audio twist. They looking for a snitch, but the camera already spoke loud and clear. They looking for who broke code, but the phone already translated the moves. They looking for who got weak, but the evidence got strong. And when evidence gets strong, the room gets small. options get smaller. The air gets thin. I'm telling you, I used to lay on the floor and put my whole face under the door, trying to suck the air, pause, coming from under the door to breathe. It was so hot in Lewisburg. Let me tell you, on a ride to Lewisburg. I'm gonna show you how official I've been through this, so I know the pressure that he's going through. In Lewisburg, anybody that been there know they got these big metal pipes that go up in the ceiling. They stay on 24 hours a day, 364 and 365 days a year for the leap year. They never go off. So you know what it's like when it was just 100 degrees in New York City and 100 degrees in Pennsylvania, and those men were sitting in that cell and they had heated pipes that keep the cell warm in the winter, on in the summer while they laid there like a flopping fish out of water. That's what I felt like. That's what Pooh Shiesty feel like, and he probably got air conditioned, might be 66 degrees in his cell. But he felt like he was burning up and he couldn't breathe. He was losing oxygen when the lights go out. So let me ride back to the jewel ride. Stop thinking silence save you when technology's already talking. Class is open now. Who told first? A person or the camera? Who do you think told first, the person or the camera? Now, when the defense strategy starts shrinking, right? Starts getting smaller, like, damn, they covering all their bases. They got the video now. Hey. Now, look at the pressure from a legal angle. At first, the defense could say, where's the video? Where's the contract? Where's the physical proof? That's the real defense question. That's what lawyers do. They find gaps. They make the government prove it, but then the government comes back and says, we got the video, we got the contract, we got the witness, we got the cell data, the surveillance. Now that cell gets a little different and it loses air, it loses oxygen. You feel like you're gonna pass out because the man inside start thinking, what do we attack now? What can we explain now? What can we use to suppress those very evidence? What can the jury not see? What if they play the video in court and that's when the case stopped being abstract? It becomes a screen, a jury, a pause button, a replay button, a still frame button. And we're gonna dive right into the jewel. In the streets, a moment passes fast. In court, they pause it, zoom it, replay it, and ask the 12 people, what did you see? Don't give them a movie to study. What Pooh might be thinking about Big 30, right? Y'all wanna know what Pooh's thinking about Big 30? I wanna take that ride. I wanna take that ride with you. I'm gonna tap into your mind. Let's talk about, Big 30 and Pooh right now. Then there's Big 30. That's another mental layer on Pooh Shiesty's mind. Your best friend home, your brother home, your day one home, and you still locked up. Now, I'm not saying Big 30 did anything wrong. I'm not saying who's responsible for what. I'm saying from inside the cell, the mind don't think clean. The mind gets suspicious. The mind gets tired. The mind gets dark. Why he home? How they get that tape? Why am I still in here? What did they say about him? What did he say about me? Is the video making me look worse? Is the name too big to be treated like everybody else? And that's where prison starts breaking friendships before court even starts. Because pressure creates questions. Questions create doubt, and doubt creates distance, and distance creates pain. especially when the people you love are breathing free air and you trapped in a cell. That's right. Yo, I feel like right. Don't build a case with friends and then be shocked when everybody's lawyer starts building a separate exit. Drop your verdict, what you think about that. Can friendship survive federal pressure? Put that in the comments. And like I said, I forgot to even tell you, we're at 20 minutes. I already got the 100,000 plaque, like I said. But what I need y'all to do to get this video to go viral, because they don't want this message out there like that, is you gotta hit the like button, the thumb, the emoji, and hit all that to keep it moving. Now, what Pooh Shiesty might be thinking about his father. What do y'all think Pooh Shiesty's thinking about his father? Put that in the comments, right? But the father part hit different, because that ain't just a co-defendant, that's blood, that's family, that's your name, that's your root. And when your father goes home, but you stay locked, that can mess with your chest. Part of you is happy, at least he home. Part of you hurt, why I'm not home. Part of you is worried that I put him in this. Part of you is angry, why my family even near this case. And that's the family sentence. The public think about the defendant does time, but families do time too. They wait, they worry, they pay lawyers, they pick up calls, they watch the news, they get commissary money to you. They read comments from people who don't know them to them over the phone to soothe their soul. And they age under the weight of your decisions that you make from worrying about you. Now, relax. Now, the streets don't just sentence you, they sentence your bloodline to worry. Come to the classroom, everybody come in and pay attention, get real close and pay attention right now, right? What's the cost? When your family name gets dragged into federal court, the contract trap. Now that's the part I'm talking about, the contract. Because this is the part young dudes gotta understand. You can't force business to respect you. You can negotiate, you can sue, you can even get a lawyer. You can walk away if the paper allows it. You can renegotiate your position. But the second force enters the room, business becomes evidence. The paper becomes exhibit A. The signature becomes the rest. The meeting becomes a setup allegation. The argument becomes extortion. The recording studio becomes a crime scene. And the rap career becomes a federal file. That's the courtroom translation. Now, let's talk about what the street call pressure, right? The feds may call coercion. What the street calls standing on business, the feds may call extortion. What the street calls making somebody sign, the law may call it force. That's why this story is dangerous, not because it's entertaining, because it's educational. And relax, we're gonna give him the jewel. That's why I do what I do. In order, I take the lesson out of these major celebrity stories. So I'm not a rap channel and I don't do all of that. I just take the lessons out. So it don't matter if it's a politician or a school kid or whatever, if there's a lesson in it, that's what I take out. Now, never turn a contract dispute into a life sentence conversation. Now, like I said, the hood professors speak and pay attention, get close, we're gonna get deep. A bad legal deal can be fought in court, but a bad move can put you in one. Let's talk about how the walls are caving in on Pooh Shiesty right now, right? The walls are caving in now. Go back to the cell. It's late. The unit's quiet. The phone call is over. The lawyer visits is over. The news is done posting. The blogs are done laughing at you. the comments are done picking sides. Now it's just Pooh Shiesty sitting in that cell. 4 walls, steel door, thin mattress, bad food, no air, bad air, smelling farts coming under the vent or from his cellie. And that one question, how did I get back here? That's when the walls cave in, not because the cell moves, because your future starts feeling small. Your world shrinks down to court dates, motions, discovery, plea talks, trial strategy, sentencing exposure. And every time new evidence comes out, the room feels like it just lost a couple of inches. The real prison starts when your future gets smaller than your cell. Put that in the verdict, what you think of that. How many people are free right now, but one bad decision away from that cell? Now, let me give you the unique Mecca audio twist. I'm gonna get out of here. I apologize. I've been on here 26 minutes. I truly apologize for keeping y'all after class like this. But relax. You know, I might give out a bonus at the end of the semester, but answer the 10 questions coming up in the back. Now, the unique Mecca audio twist. Here's the twist. Most people gonna say this about Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane, right? Most people gonna say who was real, who told, who was wrong, who was scared. But that ain't the real lesson. The real lesson is this. When you bring street methods into business problems, the federal system will translate it into words that bury you. Kidnapping, extortion, robbery, conspiracy, firearm, the rest, cooperating witness, video evidence, life exposure. That's the translation, and the translation is what destroys people. Not the image, not the song, not the chains on his neck. The plain translation of your actions. Now, let's get to the jewel. The street writes the moment. The courtroom translates the moment. And the judge sentences the translation. Now, class is dismissed only if you've been taking your notes or if you learned something today. Then you're free to go and come back and watch this later. Now, let me give you my final word to the youth. Right? This is for the youth. So you old bastards might as well go on up out of here if you're impatient. If you want these jewels, sit here so you know how to relate to your children and your loved ones. The final word to the youth. To the young brothers watching this, listen to me. Don't let your ego write a check your life can't cash. Don't let the contract make you crash. Turn into a federal issue. Don't let friends, money, pride, pressure, ego, or even image put you in a cell where the camera becomes the witness. Because when it goes bad, everybody gets a lawyer, everybody gets tragedy, everybody has a version, and you might be the one sitting in the cell trying to figure it out. Why the people you thought would never move different started moving like survivors. That's not always hate. That's pressure, classroom. That's pressure. And federal pressure changes the temperature in the room. Now, the streets are real, but we already know prison is real. Don't let 5 minutes of force turn into a lifetime of regret. As your hood professor, let me say that again, right? Don't let 5 minutes of force turn into a lifetime of regret. Leave your verdict in the comments, but make sure you leave with a lesson from this video. Now I'm gonna get into the 10 questions. Y'all been sitting here patiently, so I'm gonna wake y'all up real quick, all right? Keep it going. You ain't think I was gonna be gone long, did you? Okay, let's get to the 10 questions so I can get up out of here, all right? Now, I'm gonna dismiss you in a minute. Thank you for coming. Now, Did the camera tell before anyone did? The answer, that's the whole lesson. In today's world, the first witness might be technology. The camera don't need a deal. The phone don't need protection. The data don't need courage. It just shows up in court. Now, question number 2, right? Is Gucci Mane wrong for standing on business? The answer, that depends on how you see it. The street may expect silence, but a businessman protects his name, his company, his family, and his life. Once somebody becomes an alleged victim, the street expectation collides with legal reality. Now, did Pooh Shiesty misread Gucci Mane? Put that in the comments. Do you believe Pooh Shiesty misread Gucci Mane? Now, the answer, maybe the biggest mistake was thinking a man's street pass means he will accept business damage today. People grow, people change, people protect what they build. You can't assume old code will override current consequences. And that's a deep jewel. Class, what's worse, a cooperating witness or a crystal clear video? Now, answer, a clear video can be worse because it doesn't get nervous, it doesn't forget, it doesn't contradict itself. The lawyer can cross-examine a person, but a video just sits there and lets the jury watch what happened. Now, we're halfway through it right now. Can friendship survive federal pressure? Do you think that friendships can survive federal pressure? Answer, sometimes, but federal pressure separates love from survival. Everybody gets their own lawyer. Everybody gets their own exposure. Everybody starts thinking about their own years, their own situation. That's when the friendship gets tested for real. How many of y'all are that loyal that you keep your mouth shut for your friend? That's what I want to know. What does Pooh feel like when his father and his best friend are home? What do you think Pooh Shiesty's feeling like right now, knowing that his father, his best friend, his co-defendant, they all home? He may feel relief, pain, confusion, anger, guilt, and fear all at once. That's the dark psychological cell. You can be happy for somebody and still feel the walls are caving in because you're still the one locked in the cage. Was this really about a record deal? Do y'all think this was really about a record deal? The record deal may be the starting point, right? But the lesson is bigger. A business dispute can be handled with lawyers. When force enters the room, like I said above, the dispute can turn into a federal case. That's the trap, right? Now, why do the feds feel so different from state court, right? Why do the federal court feel so different than state court? Because the feds build pressure slow. They stack evidence, they connect phones, they use data, they use witnesses, they use videos. Then they walk in the court like they already built the room around you. They just waiting on the gavel to hit, right? Why should young artists learn from this? Why should the young rappers learn from this video? Make sure you like the video, share the video, hype the video in order to get the video out. Now, get a lawyer, right? We talk about what the young artists should learn from this, right? They should get a lawyer before you get a case. Handle paper with paper. Handle business with business. Never let go. Frustration. And never let your ego or your street pressure turn a contract pressure problem into a life sentence problem, right? Last one, I'm getting tired and I gotta go. Been on here long enough, I'm tired too. All right, class, hold up, here we go. What is the real unique Mecca audio verdict? What do you think the real unique Mecca audio verdict is? The real verdict is not whether you like Pooh or you like Gucci. The real verdict is this: the streets can make you feel powerful for a moment, but the courtroom can make that moment cost you your life. The camera became the informant, the phone became the paperwork, and the cell became the classroom. Aren't y'all happy you came to my classroom instead of the cell classroom to learn this? Y'all let me know where that stands. I want to thank y'all for coming. And I keep forgetting, because I'm so busy trying to give you all the jewel. Make sure you cop the book of Rowan Harlem at rowanharlem.com. All right? And I'm going to put my little brother, Murder Mook up here, battle rapper. Go look him up at Murder Mook on Instagram. This one of the brothers I touch. And like I said, if y'all got any videos you want me to put up with your testimony, male, female, old, young, whatever, hold your phone sideways like this and give me your testimony, and I'll put you in like we getting ready to deal with my brother Murder Mook.
Hey, what's going on, man? Murder Mook, Harlem, you know what it is, man. I just want to express how much gratitude I got for Unique, you know what I mean? I was telling him a story, telling him how I felt about, if anything was to go wrong with my career, rap-wise, if, shit be slow, and I got so many opportunities to be able to do the wrong shit. When I watch Unique Mecca audio, I feel it, and I, to my soul, and that's keeping me farthest away from doing anything criminal. Anything criminal. He made me think straight, honestly. Made me think straight, because I've been watching him for about a year now, maybe. And it just took my mind way off of that. From a year ago, it got rough. For a year ago,
Yeah.
and from watching this man, I just felt like, you saved me. You saved me. And I just want to show my gratitude, and I want to say thank you, man. Unique Mecca Audio, anything you need, brother, from me.
All right.
Anything you need, man.
All right.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. Rush. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Yeah. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Real. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, make an audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community yours, so we can give back to the.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
What?